You are attracting everything in your life, whether you realize it or not. Your thoughts are magnets, your emotions are fuel, and your results are the mirror. What you're living today is a reflection of what you've been thinking. And the most powerful truth Bob Proctor ever revealed: you don't get what you want, you get what you are. You see, Bob Proctor wasn't just another motivational speaker, he was a man who rose from working dead-end jobs and battling financial hardship to becoming a multimillionaire, all because of one idea: the law of attraction. He discovered it not from textbooks or universities, but from a single book that reshaped his mind, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. That book wasn't about luck or shortcuts. It was about vibration, belief, and mental discipline. And Bob mastered it. Most people live as victims of their circumstances. They blame their boss, the economy, or their upbringing. But the law of attraction flips the script. It says you are the creator, not the victim. Every thought you dwell on, every feeling you intensify, every image you hold in your mind, those become the blueprint of your future. Bob taught that your mind is split into two parts, the conscious and the subconscious. Your conscious mind sets the goal, but your subconscious mind creates the reality. And here's the twist: your subconscious doesn't understand what's real or imagined. It only responds to the frequency of your thoughts. If you constantly think lack, fear, doubt, you vibrate at the level of failure. If you focus on abundance, gratitude, confidence, you attract results that match. Now think about this: when was the last time you deliberately chose your thoughts? Most people let their mind run wild, filled with fear, comparison, and distraction. That's why they keep getting the same mediocre results year after year. But Bob Proctor knew the truth. He knew that changing your results requires changing your vibration. And that starts with changing your self-image. Your self-image is the thermostat of your life. You'll never earn more, love more, or live more than you believe you deserve. Bob used to say, if you want to change your life, you must change your paradigm. That means shifting the subconscious programs running in the background, programs you didn't even choose. Most of those came from your parents, your school, your culture. But guess what? You have the power to rewrite them. The law of attraction is not about wishing. It's about alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, you begin to magnetize people, opportunities, and wealth that were previously invisible to you. You start to walk into rooms and the energy shifts. Not because you changed the world, but because you changed yourself. The moment you understand that your outer world is a projection of your inner world, your entire life begins to change. Bob Proctor didn't stumble into success, he programmed his mind for it. He knew that every result in life is rooted in a cause, and that cause always begins in the mind. The law of attraction is governed by universal laws, and Bob mastered the most powerful one, the law of vibration. He taught that everything in the universe is in motion, vibrating at a frequency, even your thoughts. What frequency are you vibrating on right now? Are you operating on the frequency of wealth, joy, and gratitude, or are you vibrating in fear, anxiety, and limitation? Most people don't realize they are tuned to a negative frequency, attracting more of what they don't want. And then they wonder why life feels so heavy. The answer is simple: you can't attract prosperity while thinking poverty. You can't attract love while vibrating rejection. You attract not what you want, but what you are in harmony with. Bob Proctor's genius was in showing people how to shift that harmony. And it always began with awareness. You can't change what you don't recognize. So the first step is becoming brutally honest about your current mindset. Are you living reactively or intentionally? Are your daily thoughts empowering or draining? Are your emotions helping you rise or keeping you stuck? Once you become aware, you regain control. Then comes the reprogramming. Bob would say, repetition is the mother of learning. To shift your paradigm, you must saturate your mind with new beliefs. Not once. Not for a day. Every single day. You must affirm the life you want, visualize the results you crave, and emotionally involve yourself in the person you're becoming. The law of attraction responds not to your words, but to the emotion behind them. Feelings are the language of the universe. Bob was a master visualizer. He would sit in silence, eyes closed, and imagine himself already living his goals. Not hoping. Not wishing. But feeling them real. Because the mind doesn't know the difference between what's imagined and what's real, especially when you feel it deeply. This is why so many people stay stuck. They feel broke, they feel unworthy, they feel afraid. And those feelings become the signal they send into the universe. That's what comes back. To change your attraction, you must change your internal story. Bob Proctor didn't come from wealth. He came from confusion, debt, and hopelessness. But he rewrote the story. He chose new thoughts. He visualized a new future. He surrounded himself with people who challenged his thinking. And slowly, his vibration changed. His results changed. His life transformed. And now, so can yours. But you must be willing to do the work. The law of attraction is not magic, it's a mirror. It gives you not what you beg for, but what you believe in. Not what you want in theory, but what you expect in truth. Bob used to say, "You were born rich." And he meant it. You were born with infinite potential. But if you've been conditioned to think small, fear risk, and wait for permission, you're living far below what you're capable of. The law of attraction requires you to step into full responsibility. No more blaming. No more waiting. You become the cause, not the effect. You wake up and realize, I am the thinker of my thoughts. I am the creator of my reality. I don't have to wait to feel powerful, I can choose that feeling now. And when you do, the universe responds in kind. You attract opportunities you never saw coming. You meet people aligned with your vision. You walk into the right room at the right time. Why? Because your frequency changed. And once you change the frequency, you change the station of your life. You were never meant to live in scarcity. You were born with a mind that can literally shape your world. And Bob Proctor dedicated his life to showing people how to unlock that mind, not through hard labor or blind ambition, but through alignment. When your thoughts, beliefs, and actions are synchronized with the vision you hold, you don't chase success anymore. You attract it. But this is where most people get stuck. They try to think positive thoughts while holding limiting beliefs deep within. They speak about abundance while constantly feeling fear. That's a contradiction, and the universe doesn't respond to words, it responds to vibration. Your subconscious mind is the transmitter, and the world is your feedback loop. So if you want better results, you don't force the world to change, you tune your internal dial to a new station. Bob Proctor used to say, your results are a reflection of your self-image. That's not self-help fluff, it's science. If your self-image is wired for struggle, you'll unconsciously sabotage every opportunity. If you see yourself as broke, undeserving, or average, no amount of hustle will override that identity. You'll always return to the level of your subconscious blueprint. But here's the secret, that blueprint can be rewritten. How? Through affirmations, visualization, repetition, and environment. Start affirming the person you choose to become, not once, but over and over until your subconscious accepts it as truth. Visualize your goals as if they are already yours. Feel the joy, the freedom, the confidence. Surround yourself with people and content that reflect where you're going, not where you've been. The law of attraction is a law, just like gravity. It doesn't care who you are, where you come from, or what you've done. It simply responds to your dominant vibration. If you want to become a magnet for wealth, love, and purpose, you must become the kind of person who believes they deserve those things. Bob didn't wait until he was rich to think rich. He thought rich until he became rich. He believed in himself long before the evidence appeared. That's faith, and faith is the highest frequency you can operate on. Bob taught us that your imagination is more powerful than your current reality. If you can hold it in your mind, you can hold it in your hand. But most people only imagine what they fear. They focus on what could go wrong. They visualize failure. And the law of attraction obeys. The key to change is focus. You must discipline your mind to dwell only on what you want, not what you fear. Every time you repeat a fear-based thought, you strengthen its power. Every time you affirm your vision, you weaken the grip of doubt. The more time you spend vibrating at the level of your dreams, the faster they begin to manifest. It won't always be easy. Doubt will creep in. Old paradigms will try to pull you back. But the more consistent you are, the more momentum you create. Bob didn't become a legend overnight. He studied every day. He read the same book, Think and Grow Rich, for over 60 years. He fed his mind with truth, possibility, and purpose. And through that consistency, he became a living embodiment of the law of attraction. You have that same potential. It doesn't matter what your past looks like. It doesn't matter who doubted you. All that matters is what you decide from this moment forward. Will you keep replaying the old story, or will you write a new one? Will you keep vibrating lack, or will you start embodying abundance? You don't need more time. You don't need more luck. You need to train your mind like a millionaire, because once you believe it, once you feel it, once you align with it, the universe has no choice but to reflect it back to you. So begin today. Declare who you really are. Think it. Feel it. Speak it. Visualize it. And never waver. Because the truth is simple, you already are everything you're trying to become. The real challenge isn't learning the mindset, it's living it, breathing it, and becoming it. A millionaire doesn't think about success occasionally, they build their life around it. Every thought, every choice, every response to a challenge is a reflection of the inner conditioning they've crafted. They don't rely on motivation alone, they rely on systems. They wake up with a plan. They write down their goals every day. They invest their time, energy, and money into personal growth without hesitation. They reflect daily on who they are becoming, not just what they are achieving. They know that the outer world is a mirror of the inner world, and so they focus relentlessly on upgrading their beliefs. They don't let their past define them. They let their vision pull them forward. This mindset doesn't turn on and off, it becomes a way of life. A millionaire thinker doesn't get distracted by other people's opinions or social media noise. They guard their mind like a fortress because they know how easily negativity can creep in and destroy momentum. They value time more than money because they know that time, once lost, never returns. They don't react emotionally to setbacks, they respond with purpose. Every failure becomes feedback. Every loss becomes a lesson. Every delay is a test of belief. They move with a sense of certainty, even when the outcome is unknown, because their faith in their future is greater than their fear of failure. Bob Proctor always said, "You don't get what you want. You get what you are." So the final transformation is this: you must become the person who naturally attracts wealth, success, peace, and power, not because you're chasing it, but because you're aligned with it. Your mind must operate from abundance, not scarcity. You must visualize your success until it becomes as real as your present reality. You must make decisions from where you want to be, not where you are. You must live now as the person you plan to become, not wait for the world to change before you do. That's how millionaires think. That's how they lead. That's how they win. Train your mind to believe in miracles, not just logic. Program your mind for discipline, not excuses. Build habits that honor your purpose, not your comfort. And most of all, don't wait for permission to step into your greatness. You already have everything you need. You already are everything you seek. Now act like it. Every day is a chance to become the version of yourself that your future will thank you for. Make the decision now, not tomorrow, not next week, because millionaires don't wait. They create. They don't hope. They know. They don't dream. They do. And so must you. This isn't about becoming someone else. This is about becoming who you were always meant to be. You weren't born to live small, to survive paycheck to paycheck, to feel stuck, tired, and unworthy. You were born with the same infinite potential that every successful person once discovered within themselves. Bob Proctor believed that the mind is the most powerful force in the universe, and when you align it with purpose, vision, and belief, the world bends in your favor. The truth is, most people will never realize this. They'll live and die within mental cages built by fear, doubt, and the opinions of others. But you, right now, have the power to break free. You're not starting from zero. You're starting from awareness. Awareness that your results are tied to your thoughts. That your future depends on the habits you build. That your wealth, your health, your happiness, all begin in your mind. The separation between the top 1% and the rest isn't money, luck, or privilege, it's decision. Millionaires decide differently. They think differently. And because of that, they live differently. You don't need anyone's permission to rise. You don't need perfect timing. What you need is hunger. Hunger to grow, to learn, to evolve. Hunger to stop playing small and finally step into the life you've always imagined. So start now. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Do it afraid. Do it tired. Do it confused. Just do it. The world doesn't need another dreamer, it needs action takers, believers, and those crazy enough to rewire their mind for greatness. Every time you train your mind, you're planting seeds of legacy. Every time you act on your goals, you're shifting your reality. And when you look back years from now, you'll realize this moment, this decision, is what separated you from the 99%. Not because you were lucky, but because you decided to live like the 1%.